How's it going, everybody? Welcome, just kind of a Factorio update. Of course we're getting attacked by bugs. Oh no. Basically, I wanted to kind of just go over a few things in this video today. Mainly, touching on both the speedrun from hour 0 to hour 8, for those kind of achievements, as well as looking at what we have planned for the upcoming Factorio series, now that 2.0 is out. What I'm thinking is I'm going to do a single player run of it, and likely have my friends playthrough that I'll be doing with them. That won't be on the channel, just because that is going to be a little bit harder. I'll see what the game plan there is. If we end up doing something that entails like side-by-side sort of thing, and by that I mean like if our factories more or less are pacing at the same rate, I might use some clips from us playing supplementally. That's weird. I don't think it is. But yeah, I might supplement some things. As for the actual game changes, so Factorio 2.0 has been out a little bit for, I think, 2 weeks now. And so I just wanted to kind of go over what changes have been made that I've seen, as well as some things that haven't been changed. So for starters, with the achievements, so these are all the achievements that I've gotten so far on this world. I've reset my achievements for this particular run because I wanted to see how likely, actually that one we shouldn't have, because we don't have solar panels. I think there is a bug because we should not have this one, because we do not have solar panels. And I haven't loaded up any other worlds. Same with this one, actually. We shouldn't have this one. Or this one. Or obviously this one. What on earth? Okay, well, there's some bugs or something. No, no pun intended. Wait. Yeah, we didn't have that one either. Ah, that is weird, actually. Because literally last night I was playing, and we just got a few of these achievements. Like, these are all the most of the base game ones that I had previously, but that is odd. We're not producing that, so like, how can I have this achievement but not have the other one? I don't know. Anyway, so one of the things is they didn't change the 8-hour rocket launch achievement, which I think is a little bit funny. Although I think the name of this one changed. Or, well, this is a new one, Launch a Rocket. But the 8-hour one, this one, there is no spoon, and then the so long, thanks for all the fish, which is a secret one, is actually quite easy now, because in order to launch a rocket now, you just need 3 things. You need blue circuits, or processing units, low density structure, LDS, and rocket fuel. And it takes 1 of each to make 1 rocket part, which equates to 2% of progress. So you only need 50 of each in order to launch a rocket. So quite good. And what's really nice is it builds it very quickly now. And speaking of quickly, if you hover over a machine, let me find one that's working. So like this right here, if you look over on the right hand side, it now tells you at 3 per second, meaning that it handles the conversion from the crafting speed and the recipe production speed and converts it into an actual time. The other thing, as you saw there, if you click on like a recipe like this, it brings up what they're calling Factoriopedia, so in-game wiki, basically. And what's really nice is, so as you can see, kind of some things give you some things like informational, whatchamacallits, like little widgets. And then it does have everything in the game, so like I'm not going to go through everything just in case anybody does want to kind of experience things for the first time. I know myself and my friends, we're not necessarily going to be going into it quote-unquote blind, but there are going to be some aspects to it that we have no idea, because both my friends haven't really been following the Friday facts on the game, so they aren't aware of all the different changes and things, and I'm sure there have been things that I have missed myself or have forgotten, because this has been a long time coming DLC. A lot of the builds we're using, I forget where they're from, and yes, I know my blueprints are terrible. They are all, well, the blueprints themselves aren't necessarily terrible, although I'm sure some of them are inefficient, but this is all highly unorganized. There's so many just random things, and a lot of these question marks are from modded. That's why they look blank. I forget whose blueprints these ones are that I have. I don't know. Some of them are from multiplayer worlds that I've been on, or from other servers that I've been in. So some of them are mine, some of them aren't, and then a good chunk of them are ones that I have found from the internet. But a lot of them are still designs that are fairly accepted in the community for things. So like green circuits, pretty standard 3 to 2, and a simple layout. And then here's kind of just what I had for a shopping mall, kind of combined production, and some other just generic things. But what's really nice is, so in order to launch a rocket, you only need up to blue science now, which is incredibly just cheap. And honestly, you didn't need to do robots. I had robots just to kind of help speed some things up, but I was able to get it in 6 hours. And that was just playing at a very leisurely pace. That wasn't min-maxing the map seed, that wasn't min-maxing the factory blueprint. Because as you can see, like, there's a lot of quote-unquote wasted space in a main bus if you're trying to speedrun something, just because you're putting all these belts down for things, when in reality you could just put everything spaghetti, get it launched, and get it going. And then here I just have blue circuits and things going into this. So yeah, very easy to launch a rocket. They have also changed, so when you hover over science now, so like for instance, if I click lamps, you can see how long it's going to take, estimated time, which is really, really nice for speedrunning, as well as just achievement hunting or really anything, because that way you can kind of go have a timeline for things. One of the other changes that they've done is, so when you hover over a pipe, notice it shows you the length and distance, both of the top, the left, right, and bottom. So it's really nice because it shows you that there's 102 meters to my left of this pipe, there's 92 meters north of this pipe, 79 down, and 22 to the right. So it shows you kind of all of those little things. As you see, I do have some achievements stacked over here, and these are just some of the other ones. So the new stretch, or I guess crunch achievement that you want to go for is the 40-hour. Complete the game in 40 hours. And that is including the DLC, so going up to all the planets and stuff. I don't really know how feasible that is. Like, I don't know, is 40 hours a lot of time, or is it a little bit of time? Because with 8 hours being the initial, like, benchmark, like, stretch of vanilla, and I'm like, okay, cool, but this is now 40 hours, and then the other one to go with it is 100 hours? I don't know if they overestimated or underestimated the amount of content that they added. So I'm very interested to see it. And then once we have played through it at least once, to just kind of get a feel for it and kind of get some builds under our belt and just kind of know what we're expecting, or kind of know the sequence of things, then we're going to try a speedrun 100%, start to finish, all the achievements. Some of them probably are just going to be time gated, so those might be like the produce 20 million green circuits or whatever. Usually ones like that, though, are just going to come naturally, and honestly, one like that will probably happen just while we're playing, whereas in previous runs we've done, that's usually one of the last achievements we're waiting on, just because we don't typically produce 20 million green circuits while we wait. Whereas other things just happen to get made, like iron plates just happen to get made and other stuff. So on those ones, it's usually just a little bit different. And we do have biters on this world, and we didn't mess with any of the pollution settings, so they're going to be pretty aggressive. They did tweak some things with that, that I've seen, but nothing crazy. One of the other changes they've made as well, yeah, let's load up our other one. Let's load up this one from 3 months ago. Just load. Yeah, so they changed a bunch of items here. So for instance, stack inserters got renamed to bulk inserters. And they're still technically stack inserters, but stacking is apparently something new. Satellites and whatnot have all changed. There's been some other like removed recipes, so like green wire, red wire has been removed, rocket control units have been removed, spider turner remote, filter stack inserters. So as you can see, there's just some things that have been removed. Changed entities, changed items, and I like that it shows you what it was changed from and to. So for instance, from logistics chest passive provider, it's not just passive provider chest. Simple. Modules have been renamed a little bit. So like efficiency module is now efficiency. Is it a spelling thing? It is. Effectivity module is an efficiency module. Okay, I see. I'm like, those words look the same, but it's the tail end that changed. So it's just little stuff like that that has changed. And of course, it tries to convert it as best as it can. As you can see, these ones aren't good because we technically failed their conditions. So there we go. And it's going to give us the achievement. So this was our previous world that we did, the run on. We're probably going to get a bunch of those little achievements. And as you can see, pretty similar setup to what we had. So a lot of these blueprints we used. And so this is essentially what it used to take. Although we did expand. So like this stuff down here, we expanded extra red circuits. A lot of this was just to get more green, and the starts to border on what a mega base would have, essentially, with the amount of trains you have running and the amount of furnaces you have going, and a lot of production. But by no means have I really done mega base stuff, typically just because performance does start to tank on that side of it. But this is just one of the worlds that we did, and of course we did a little bit of nuclear just to have it for power, because a base this size does start to yeet a lot. They did add accumulator charge, so now that you can see that separate or independent of the other things. What do we? They also changed the way alerts work, so now you can pin them. So for instance, I can do that, and it will pin them all around our screen, so it can get quite cluttered. We can pin that there as well. And then notice they show up right here on the right, so that I can go ahead. I can do a pin setting, so I can label this. I can turn it to always visible as well as view distance. And what's really nice is if I go to my map, you can now, so before you could also add tags, right? But now what you can do is, how did we do it? Was it Alt? No, but that's good to know. There was a way to do it. I forgot the hotkey. But now there's a way you can add additional tags. I don't think it was this. So before you could have that, but that was only visible here on the map, or on your mini map, but there is a way to do the pins, basically. Because, stop ping. I can't remember. But left Alt, or Alt plus left click now brings up Factoriopedia. So like if I click on something, brings it up. And then so before you'd have to have a bunch of things going into it. And then we had, or effectively, the rocket control units, which were in these right here. And so that's what that is, but that recipe was removed as well as those items. So you see, it took a lot more than what it takes now to launch a rocket, and that's part due because it's like SpaceX. Now you need to launch a ton of rockets in order to do stuff in space. Some of the other changes that I know they did, bonuses, it was trains they changed. So the trains, if we go, I'll find one of them. So like with trains, they have changed this up quite a bit. We can now add interrupts. So certain things are going to you can add to your schedules to, say, maybe have an interrupt, and we can look for some of those as well. You can also add stations that we've seen before. We've seen wait conditions. Fuel now, which is a little bit interesting. I actually didn't realize that this was in there as well. It's kind of odd that that menu is there. The fuel hasn't changed, but what has changed with your trains, so see here how you can have a group assignment. You can have specific trains grouped to things. You can also drive them remotely, which I haven't tried. And I see that this color on top has changed. Does that indicate fullness? Because the copper ones have it too, or is that because the train color is that? What? Why is this one red, but this one is not? That is bizarre. Somebody has an explanation why the top of these trains are red. Let me know, because these two this train doesn't have it, but this train is full. Like, this train is also red. They're both carrying iron. They're both the same train. One's inventory is just slightly different. So we probably have some empty trains, huh? Yeah, it's an empty train. I was gonna say maybe it's like a... Those ones are... Anyway. Oh, well the cars... Okay, I see. So the cars are similar to the train color. So that is another change they made, it looks like. I'm trying to think. There was another quality of life one they did. Drills look the same. There was... Oh, there's something else I was going to show off. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, so they've added quite a bit to the game, as well as a lot of quality of life. To my knowledge, all the quality of life things are base game, and then anything post space launch is DLC, or anything after you launch the rocket in terms of like stuff. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything. So the overall plan for our series is currently we're doing RimWorld and Satisfactory. RimWorld, we are getting close to finishing. I'm currently in the process of off camera getting us to the point where we can just launch and kind of take off, so I'm hoping we can have that done Friday. And then the other episode is Satisfactory. The other thing we have planned is Satisfactory that we're currently doing. That has slowed just a little bit due to work on my senior design project, as well as just kind of being busy with some other stuff. So Satisfactory has slowed a little bit in its progress, as well as we got to the next stage in the game, so everything is new, so I have no idea what I'm doing, so it's going to take a little bit longer to figure out, but bear with me. This, however, I'm hoping to start our Factorio playthrough either this coming week or the following week. It just depends on scheduling and stuff, just because doing this and Satisfactory are going to be a little bit more difficult. I think what I'm going to do for this is episode 1 is probably going to be just us going through and setting up most of the factory stuff, and I haven't decided how I'm going to do it just yet. I think we're going to go through the base game again just to see what everything just kind of looks like, what has changed, because I'm sure I've overlooked something like this. Actually, the pipes now have a length to them that they can't exceed, so as you can see, this pipe is overextended, so we had to add some inline pumps to make it work. And also, as you saw there, I guess it's not really highlightable through here, but they have added what is essentially squeak through, which for anybody who's played Factorio and played Factorio modded knows that it's a very big quality of life mod that allows you to basically move between entities by changing their hitboxes. Most of these hitboxes you could already move through. I can't remember which ones you couldn't, because I typically do play with squeak through, just because it's just such a nice thing. Oil is notorious for getting stuck in, because you can't walk through it. But notice, you can now walk through. I don't think you could used to do this, but you can walk through the things. Walking through this has become infinitely easier. I don't know if you could do that before. But I know like power or really anything with these pipes was always a pain in the butt to try to like navigate, but now you can like navigate a little bit easier, it looks like. You still can't walk between this connection. I don't know if you can do that in with squeak through or not. If you can walk that, I don't think you can, but there are definitely a lot of areas that you definitely benefit now from being able to walk through, because notice, like their undergrounds, I can walk right through it. That I know you couldn't used to do. So it definitely helps, especially with builds that you're like, okay, I'm trying to do things, but like this you used to not be able to do. So like those undergrounds, you can basically walk through undergrounds now, so that's really nice. But yeah, so the overall plan is probably episode 1 is just going to be doing a lot of base game stuff. Definitely let me know down below in the comments how you want me to do it. Do you want to see the base game and what has changed more in depth? In which case we'll probably extend out, or not really extend out, but I'm going to show more of us playing the base game up till launching the rocket, and then after launching the rocket is when we'll start the Factorio 2.0 material. Or would you rather just have me consolidate it all into about an episode, maybe 2 episodes of us doing it? So it might either be part off camera, part on camera, speed run, kind of like the Dyson Sphere series we did, where I'll basically record all the gameplay, speed it up, and then voice over it. Definitely let me know down below what you guys prefer, if there's a particular format that you guys are more interested in. And we can kind of experiment with both and just see what you guys enjoy. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Other than that, have a good rest of your week.